Hi guys, I'm Hippie here, and I'm excited to be here announcing this game we have Nashville Roller Derby and the Santa Cruz Derby Groms. For the female, we have Allison Thunderland 066, 105, Dolly Darko, 1234, Charismatic, 17, Sin Arin, 20, Wreckin' Bell, 50, Biddy Vendetta, 70, Fleetwood Smack, 781, Awesome Sauce, 975, Ragin', 0815, Monkey Wrench, 120, Tinker Hell, 1330, F-Bomb, 1958, Speed Demon, 376, Crom Bomb, 666, Skull Crusher, 719, Curl Crusher, and 963, Willow. And on the Nashville Junior Roller Derby team, we have 09 Lunatic, 101 Roadrunner, 143 Qzilla, 272 Thorn, 444 Felony, 615 Lethally Blonde, 666 Little Devil, 814 Lunar Flare, 999 Little Misfortune, 10 Queen Bee, 141 Poison Ivy, 187 Serial Killer, 394 Wings, 50 Hurricane, 66 Shipwreck, 79 Toast, and 916 Mighty Duck. All right, and Time Till Derby, 126. Sorry about getting the hang of this, but here comes some roller derby. All right, and I'm sure you can hear it on the streams as well, but we have a very, very loud crowd out here for both teams. Forgive me, as I'm not as familiar with Nashville Junior Roller Derby. I believe they are a newer team since when I was a junior and played Santa Cruz. So I will be looking for names out there as well. It looks like jamming on the line. That is going to be 444 Felony for the Nashville Junior Roller Derby. And for Santa Cruz, I can't exactly see the numbers from where I'm sitting, but we'll get to that shortly. And that is that first whistle on the jam. And it looks like that Santa Cruz jammer, who I believe is 066, Allison Thunderland, is our lead jammer at the beginning there. Santa Cruz wall holding strong in the top formation, putting 4 points on the board. And an apex jump right off the bat, but good reformation from Nashville and some attempted offense there. Still lead, pushing through, putting 8 points on the board for Santa Cruz Derby Groms. And another apex, wow. We need an apex counter on this game as well. And that looks like it will be a 16-point jam to 0. But that is the only first jam so far. But that's what I love about roller derby, right? You never know what you're going to get. right, and we're back at the Derby action. Speed Demon getting a penalty. Lead is still available. But there is great defense going on by Santa Cruz's Walls and some offense there from Nashville, number 666. Very solid tripod in the back. And it looks like that is the conclusion of the power jam that Nashville had. So Nashville is setting up defense at the top and looks like going back to play offense. And another sweep there for Speed Demon, putting some points on the board. Really, really good work there with those tripods. And a duck on the side. Nashville is speeding up the pack slightly. I think strategically going to try and get their jammer out instead of focusing on defense at the moment. Speed Demon is putting up 16 points so far this jam with 9 seconds left. But that Nashville tripod in the front holding up well. And right before that whistle, looks like another 4 points for the Santa Cruz Derby Groms. It looks like Santa Cruz has the pack advantage as Nashville has one blocker in the pack. Jamming, we have Cinnarin for Santa Cruz, who is going to be our lead jammer for this jam. And a juke on the inside. Really breaking those walls up, the Nashville jammer was having some luck there with that. That puts 1 point on the board there for Nashville Junior Roller Derby. And we are at 40 for Santa Cruz Derby Groms. There is one blocker per team in the box at the moment. Jamming, we have 444 for the Nashville Junior team. Felony up against Clairsmatic. Amazing bridging work there, pushing the pack out of play. Really good strategy, as that is the first time lead jam has been called out for Nashville. All right. Putting 2 points on the board and calling it off. That might be the name of the game in strategy for Nashville Junior Roller Derby up against Santa Cruz. It's getting those points and then calling that off. All right, that whistle means the game is on and rolling. Great drawback by 33 on Nashville. Nope. 916 is jamming. Forgive me for the long distance view. Wrecking Bell crashing through that upper tripod, putting 4 on the board there. And a hop, skip, and a jump will end the jam there. This is going to be a full pack advantage game for both teams. And looking at those starts, Santa Cruz has a really effective sweep back into the pack as Nashville is playing successful offense there on the inside, taken by Lunatic as Allison Thunderland puts 4 points on the board. And the jam is then called off. Both teams lining back with dynamic starts. And it looks like Santa Cruz has a really, really good hang of the drawback bridge staying in play, allowing their jammer Speed Demon to get through lead. Nashville holding a solid 2-wall in the front there. But Speed Demon takes those points and calls it off. Both teams are doing an excellent job on defense and offense and switching between the two. Very dynamic. But I think the difference is so far who is getting lead, making the real point spread the most important thing. So it's interesting to see these starts and how they are changing and moving quickly within the last couple seconds. And we had a little bit of a truck and trailer offensive there. And a hit there for Sinarin getting lead jam as Nashville reforms in the front. Staying within play, keeping pack, holding a solid wall. It looks like there was a penalty given to the pivot and a blocker for Nashville there. An official timeout has been called. Once again, it's an honor to be here. I am Hippie, who used to skate with Foco, so I cannot be biased during this game at least. But I'm very, very glad to be on the mic watching junior roller derby, which, as someone who skated in the juniors and adults, I feel that junior roller derby is just something I hold so fond and dear to my heart in the level of intensity, gameplay, and strategy that you can see here today and this weekend at JRDA Champs. But enough of that, we are back to the gameplay, and it looks like that is going to be lead jammer for Santa Cruz Derby Groms, Charismatic, and Felony has the star again for Nashville, trying to do a little bit of jammer on jammer defense there, but Charismatic swoops by and calls it off. All right, a little bit of a jammer on jammer action there at the beginning, and some very, very well done defensive blocking there. Looks like there is a penalty called for the Nashville. Woo! Nashville jammer as Wrecking Bell takes a spin and calls that off. And it looks like this is, as a jammer, this is my favorite thing when my team is on the track. But Nashville has the disadvantage here in this situation. But Alice in Thunderland is going to capitalize on that with lead jam right away. But calling it off. A strategic play keeping the jammer in the box for the next jam. It looks like there was a timeout called on the Nashville Junior Roller Derby team. And here we have the points per jam. The Santa Cruz Derby Groms are doing a very effective job at getting the points and calling it off, not allowing Nashville Junior Roller Derby to score or capitalize on their fast pack releases. This is a effective strategy, but it is keeping the scores very low. And this is JRDA, not USARS. So a little bit less of the speed skating in circles and keeping that energy for the remainder of the game. Starting with a power jam. I believe that is Speed Demon on the line for the Santa Cruz Derby Groms. And no offense was needed there as Speed Demon hits out and cuts in, putting a lead for Santa Cruz as they are back on track. We have the Nashville jammer released from the box, but a quick call off there. Once again, not allowing Nashville to score. Which can be very, very mentally draining as a jammer not in control of the jam when you are getting out of the pack and cannot score any points, but is a very effective gameplay strategy. Another official timeout. And here we have the penalty board. Looks like this is overall a lower scoring penalty game than the last Open Division games that I have been spectating and announcing for as well. It looks like Nashville Junior Roller Derby is having a little bit more blocker penalties and jammer penalties there, such as that last jam, keeping them in the box. But it looks like at the moment we are clear of penalties, and this is going to be 5-on-5 roller derby the way it's supposed to be. So skate clean. A lot easier said than done. The Nashville crowd getting a cheer on. Again, I am not very familiar or have kept up to date with all of the rankings, but I do think that Nashville is putting up an amazing job defensively and offensively, keeping Santa Cruz at bay by forcing them to call off at, 4 points, which is a win in its own. Looks like Sinarin is the lead jammer for Santa Cruz here, staying in bounds, but hit back by the Nashville pivot and back around. Again, a 4-point jam and a call off. As a jammer, I personally believe this is to keep your endurance for the long run. No reason to run the long jams and exhaust yourself when there is still 16 minutes of this half and then a whole nother half to go. And then a whole nother day of junior roller derby you guys can catch up on tomorrow as well. Looks like we have Charismatic as our lead jammer, but not far behind. We have Lunatic from Nashville Junior Roller Derby. The pack is moving fast and manages to squeeze by. I believe that was 3 points there for Santa Cruz. I've also seen a lot of these dynamic starts, which as a jammer takes a lot of your momentum when a 3-person to 4-person wall is stealing your initial inertia from you, which makes it very, very effective. But both jammers are being very successful. That was a close but safe call for a 0-0 jam there. With those fast packs, there's always a little bit of risk versus reward. But both teams are playing a very clean game. We have an empty box to start again. And jamming on the line, we have Alice in Thunderland for Santa Cruz up against Road Runner for Nashville. And an amazing apex jump there by Alice in the Thunderland, calling it off once more. Nashville Junior Roller Derby putting out, I believe that is 444 Felony up on the line again. Up against Speed Demon with a very fancy speedy spin there. Now, Nashville, looking at their strategic play, has been doing an excellent job with defense and then switching to an offensive move to get their jammer out quickly in attempt to call off the jam, which Santa Cruz has been doing a very, very consistent job of 4 points and call it. Retaining that lead seems to be the name of the game. And that lead jammer status is going to be very, very well fought for, with Sinarin taking that one as Nashville is doing a great job of keeping up the pace. That was a very fast-moving pack, but both teams stayed in play, all while maintaining containment of the Jammers. And a drag back for the Santa Cruz Jammer, Cinnamon. But an even longer drag back for Mighty Duck on Nashville Junior Roller Derby. Mighty Duck hit out by 376, the pivot for Santa Cruz. Bridged back, they're sending one to keep play. Nashville containing this Santa Cruz Jammer and receiving a penalty on the pivot there, meaning that there cannot be a star pass as the Nashville Jammer has the star out of their helmet. Another 4-point jam. Both teams here fighting for the front and then switching in the back. Santa Cruz seeming to be the most successful with lead off of the line. I will say that has been the most key part because I'm seeing great things on both sides. And the Jammers are really being worked out there by these dynamic blocking players. And another 4 points on the board for Santa Cruz. On the jammer line, from what I can see from up here, we have, is that going to be a new jammer for Nashville? Roadrunner has jammed before. Taking the star once more with number 20 on Santa Cruz, Wrecking Bell. Both walls stuck there at that corner. And some great one-on-one defense there by 272 on Nashville. Star is in hand, but jam is called off regardless. And now, my favorite thing to do as a jammer is run it on the pivot as well. But Santa Cruz did not even allow for a star pass there because they are keeping this very consistent. 4 points and call. But there is still a lot of time left in this game. And Nashville is starting with a new startup, having a dangle there to catch that jammer. Doing a great job keeping defense at the top. Lead jammer going to Allison of Thunderland. Nashville jammer Mighty Duck taking the star off, but a call and score on the board for Santa Cruz. It also looks like Santa Cruz has the pack advantage of this next jam as 2 blockers from Nashville are in the box. Speed Demon is on the line for Santa Cruz Derby Groms. Up against Felony, number 444. This seems to be a very consistent matchup as well. At least very successful. Woo! And a hit out there by Felony drag back. Speed Demon attempting to call off the jam, but that is a penalty. There was an official timeout. All right. Now, I wish I could say I know exactly what is going on, but from up here, I cannot. It seems that they're going to try and have Nashville start with a power jam. To which, hopefully, they will be able to capitalize on the lead advantage that Santa Cruz has been maintaining throughout this first half of the game. All right. Getting ready for play out there. Both teams have full blockers out there, but this is going to be a power start for Nashville Junior Roller Derby. Roadrunner is on the line and looking to get some points and capitalize on this. We have Santa Cruz on full defense, reforming towards the front there. And staying off those lines is going to be key for avoiding the drawback that Santa Cruz is very, very good at this game so far. Nashville getting ready for the Santa Cruz Jammer, which is Speed Demon, coming in through with speed and will be taking lead for this jam. Amazing defense there by Santa Cruz, holding a whole 30-second power jam start. Looks like Star is in hand of our pivot, but again, 4 points and called off before the pivot could capitalize on that as well. All right, Santa Cruz taking the backpack wall, but sending one up for offense, which was very successful as Nashville comes back to play some quick-o. And Nashville Jammer, Lunatic, staying in bounds with a call-off there for Santa Cruz, putting only 3 on the board. It looks like Nashville's taking the backpack this time with a offensive push there. Looks like Charismatic took advantage of that. Again, both teams have great defense and great offense. It really is just about who is getting out of the pack first. And as a jammer myself, there are so many variables that go on within that 5-second time period that you have to account for. All right, Santa Cruz taking the backpack with 1 offense in the front, and Nashville is holding on to that jammer, maintaining pack, but the Nashville jammer is getting dragged back there by Santa Cruz. Santa Cruz, Wrecking Bell, will be the lead jammer. Both teams playing a very, very clean game and fast-paced. Wow. And it looks like that will be a called-off jam. Once again, thank you guys for tuning in and bearing with me having to talk to myself and watch some roller derby. But I forget, since I am not in-house, I can talk about strategy, which is some of my favorite things to do, besides skate, of course. There was a team timeout for It does look like there is a Nashville pivot in the box, meaning that Santa Cruz will have the pack advantage. Running into jam number 26. Roadrunner is back on the line for Nashville, up against, I believe that is Alice in Thunderland. Very, very competitive pair. There we go. We have Roadrunner with lead jam. I believe this is one of Nashville's first lead jams. Are they going to run it or call it? And they decided to call that so that Santa Cruz could not capitalize on any points that game. So that was a 0-0 jam. And the crowd is going wild over here in-house. You could probably hear a little bit of it on the stream. We have Mighty Duck on the line up against Speed Demon. A little bit of a player's dominoes there on the first turn, and some offense sent in from Santa Cruz, and a jump. Speed Demon retaining lead jam. Both teams very, very dynamic and track aware. I will say the bridging without all the penalties is there on both sides, making it a lot difficult for both of the jammers. And another pile up there, but a called off jam. That will be the highest jam of the game so far, with 12 points there for Santa Cruz. All right. This could very well be the last jam of the first half, with 56 seconds left in the period. But that will be a cut track on the Santa Cruz jammer. Both jammers are on the track at the moment, with defense there on that first corner. And Cinnamon is unable to get lead jam on that because of the penalty, but is still putting points on the board there. Nashville sending one back for some offense, but the star is taken off the helmet. Nashville's keeping 2 in front for defense and 2 back with a little bit of that was a successful star pass there for our new jammer as Cinnamon puts some more points on the board. Comes back to do some defense. And a draw back. Now this is just about running the clock, because this is not allowing the Nashville jammer to go back. This looks like an eat the baby attempt is going to happen, and very successful for Cinnamon. And the jam clock is done. Wow, what a last jam with a 16.2-minute long jam to conclude the first half. Alrighty, and that was the first half. I'm Hippie, and we will be right back to the action in 14 and a half minutes, but don't go too far because there is roller derby all day. All right, and we are back to that roller derby action. I'm Hippie, older aged out junior skater, and we have these junior skaters here with the Santa Cruz Derby Groms and the Nashville Junior Roller Derby still at it. We have our second half, and they are doing gear checks. Something I have not done in a while because they don't do that in adult derby. And we have our points per jam, the Santa Cruz Derby Groms, keeping a very, very consistent 4 points and calling it off. But towards the end there, we had a little bit more fun with 12 and 16 points there. And penalties all around have been super, super clean. We only have a couple on there, cut track for Speed Demon, and not very much there for the blockers. Very impressed with that. The Nashville Junior Roller Derby team having quite a few more, but still no one is on the verge of fouling out, so it looks to be that we will have all of our players for the next half. All right, and we are rolling with a great defensive wall there with Nashville, but Allison Thunderland keeping it going right where they left off the last half with lead jam status for this jam. Looks like that is 4 points on the board. Will Santa Cruz call it as Felony just was released from the pack? Or will Santa Cruz run it? All right. Calling it off. Great start for both teams. And no one in the penalty box, which is always very nice. All right, it looks like that is going to be Roadrunner, our jammer for Nashville, up against Speed Demon for Santa Cruz. Speed Demon starting off very, very speedy with a little duck on the outside corner. Nashville sending back some offense for Roadrunner. Roadrunner breaking apart that tripod, but Speed Demon on the outside. And the star is off the helmet with a good hit there by Nashville. And through the arms, no multiplayers there. putting more points on the board for Santa Cruz. There was a successful star pass there for Nashville. Our new jammer will be number 66, Shipwreck. Wow. And keeping it right where we left off with 16 points on the board for Santa Cruz. Both teams keeping a very high intensity, high level of playing, even throughout the very long halftime. Santa Cruz starting in the back wall as Cinnamon takes the inside line, getting lead jam. And Cinnamon doing another little jump towards the inside, putting 4 points on the board. The Nashville Mighty Duck is being very mighty and ducking through that pack, getting out of initial. Cinnamon pushing through that 2-wall and calling it off before Mighty Duck can put anything on the board. And it looks like jamming for potentially the first time is I'm so sorry, not for the first time. The first time of this half, Charismatic with the star. Up against Lunatic for Nashville. Lunatic with the lead called for Nashville, but an incredible hit there, meaning they were going to call it off, and that is a 0-0 point jam. Very quick, very, very quick jams this game. All right, and we have Wrecking Bell with a fancy backwards spin around for lead jammer. Santa Cruz maintaining lead for this game, or jam, as Nashville is sending some back for some offense right there on the inside. Ooh, and a tumble and fall, but inbounds. With some great reformation. These walls on both sides are reforming extremely well. And I have not seen very much individual play. This is a team sport, and we've been seeing a lot of that team sport mentality out on the track today. It does look like Santa Cruz has 2 blockers in the box, meaning that Nashville has the pack advantage for jam number 5. Doing a little bit of jammer on jammer blocking there. It looks like Road Runner will be our lead jammer. And with 1 blocker to sweep through, Allison Thunderland. And we've got points on the board with a spin and a call off there for Nashville. I believe that is the highest scoring jam Nashville has had this entire game. So shout outs for getting out of the number 3. And on the line, it looks like there is still 1 blocker for Santa Cruz in the box, with Speed Demon and Mighty Duck battling it out once again. Speed Demon right through, catching up Speed on that corner with lead. But, Nashville is riding the wave, if you will. and keeping the intensity up, forcing a call off there for Santa Cruz. It looks like Nashville has been sticking to the front pack more this half of the game, which in turn has led to their highest point jam. But both teams taking advantage of the jammer's speed at the beginning there. And would you look at that? This is a very quick pack. Are they going to race or call it off? And it looks like Nashville is getting ready to call that jam off, not playing USARS today. Keep preserving some of that energy for the next jam, because there is 22 minutes left of the second period. Both teams with full blockers out on the track. No one in the penalty box, always a good way to start. That will be Charismatic with the lead jam for Santa Cruz. And a penalty is called on blocker number 50 for Santa Cruz, as Felony is fighting in the backpack still. 4 points is on the board for Charismatic. And a fancy little spin backwards out of the pack. Both walls reforming, but the jam is called off. 8 more points to Santa Cruz. And these fast jams can get very exhausting as well. I've seen a number of skaters out there back-to-back blocking, jamming, all while maintaining the same level of intensity and gameplay. With a good 2-wall there, looks like Wrecking Bell will be the lead jammer of jam number 10. Tripod in the front there, holding Roadrunner. Wrecking Bell wrecking through that 2-wall there with Nashville. Nashville sending some offense there to the back. And a block on the inside there by number 50 on Nashville. Hurricane. Roadrunner takes off the star. Star in hand looking for the star pass. Oh, but a fake pass to get around some of that, but dragged back. Wrecking Bell putting 4 more points on the board. And taking advantage of the speed on the outside, cutting inside, Wrecking Bell puts another 4 points on the board, as Nashville is setting up for defense, because it looks like this is a power jam for Santa Cruz to capitalize on. And capitalize they did. They will be locking the Nashville jammer in the box, meaning that Roadrunner will have to start the next jam from the box. And now as a jammer, the best place to be is on the track. Unfortunately, it happens to all of us. But this means that we have a power jam for Allison Thunderland, weaving through the inside, gaining that lead jammer title. And some offensive help there with a whip around the jersey, resulting in, I believe, a multiplayer. Oh, sorry. A Nashville blocker was sent to the box, but Alice putting 4 points on the board. Roadrunner out and ready to run through this backpack with a little help from their friends. Switching to defense there. Alice and Thunderland through that, calling it off with a 12-0 point jam. Jam number 11. At this point in time in the last period, there was quite a few more jams as it was just points and call, points and call. It seems like they are running the clock a little bit more. And Nashville is still keeping that front pack off the line. Jamming, we have Skull Crusher for Santa Cruz, who will be our lead jammer. With some great defense there by 1958 on Santa Cruz, which is Speed Demon, who is also doing the blocking, jamming, athletic skater thing to do. And Skull Crusher crushing through that front pack, but Nashville holding up a very good four-wall up in the front. And some offense there pushing through the front. It looks like that will be a back block called. So this means we have a power jam for Nashville Junior Roller Derby. And spinning around, star in hand. That is going to be 916, Mighty Duck. And stars in hand, but the pivot is quite a ways away with that drag back by Santa Cruz. No lead for this jam, so no calling it off, meaning this jam will run the full 2 minutes. And Mighty Duck getting through, but Skull Crusher is not far behind. Mighty Duck still has the star in hand, but after the full 2-minute jam, it was a score of 12-0 with an empty box, which is very impressive all on its own. A 2-minute jam and an empty box to end off with. Never a bad thing. A little bit of offense there. Help with Santa Cruz, but that Nashville wall is holding very well, maintaining pack in the front. Front has been more successful for them with a push back and around. Beautiful reformations and spinning, containing that jammer for almost 30 seconds. While Ragin is on there, scoring pass right through the inside, snuck by, putting 4 on the board for Santa Cruz. And with a fancy spin around the inside, that will be the end of jam number 13. All right, getting right back into that derby action. Santa Cruz keeping the back line, backing up on the jammer as that 2-wall defense is doing great towards the front, but broken apart and charismatic through the pack. gaining that lead jammer status. And we have Felony for Nashville getting dragged back by the Santa Cruz pivot. Woo! And an amazing backwards spin there on that apex. I'm telling you guys, we need the apex jump counter for this game. I think that would be a good stat to have with the amount of apex jumps I have seen today alone. Charismatic pushing the Nashville pack out of play, putting the points on the board and calling the jam. Looks like that is an official timeout called. Both teams maintaining great sportsmanship throughout the entirety of the game. And like I said, roller derby is a team sport. Although there are jammers and blockers, there is no individual playing within these teams' efforts. And you could see a lot of how well in reforming and dynamic gameplay there has been throughout the entirety of this game. Nashville roller derby doing a great job of keeping up the enthusiasm and intensity. Like I said before, I've been on both sides of the large point spread games, but that is just how roller derby is sometimes. Every jam still counts, and they are making every jam count. We have Road Runner for Nashville, but Wrecking Bell, with lead for Santa Cruz. And both jammers are through initial. Wrecking Bell getting some points and calling it off. But I believe that was 3 points total for that jam. Not the entire 4. Nashville did a great job of keeping the pressure up on that jam. Looks like Monkey Wrench on Santa Cruz is taking the star for the first time with lead jam up against 09 Lunatic from Nashville, fighting against the full 4-person wall in the front. Both jammers stuck in the corner here. This is a slow but strategic pack gameplay, as there is defense and offense going on, allowing Monkey Wrench to slip right by as Lunatic takes the star off their head. Trying to do a little bit of jammer on jammer defense there. Nashville is sending Monkey Wrench to the back of the pack. Again, still in this corner, which happens to be the favorite Apex corner. Monkey Wrench sneaking through on the inside. Lunatic still with the star in hand. And a hit out there. Santa Cruz attempting to go all the way back with the bridge. Monkey wrench being hit out by the Nashville pivot, 66. Both walls doing a great job. This has been probably one of the most defensive heavy jams, as both jammers are really fighting to get through that, but Monkey wrench will put 4 more on the board and call it off. Five seconds called, with only 8 minutes and 45 seconds left of the second period. Felony with the star for Nashville. And we have Tinker Hell jamming for the first time on Santa Cruz. Very good defense there by Nashville. The pivot and a sneak by there for Tinker Hell. Gaining lead jammer status with that 8 points on the board. Looks like the star is in hand for Nashville. And another jump. Like I said, apex jump counter. And a good hit on the inside there by 615. Lethally Blonde. And great sportsmanship there. High fives on and off the track. Again, that's what roller derby is all about, keeping up the good vibes. And who doesn't love roller derby? On a beautiful, hot Chicago afternoon. Awesome Sauce jamming for the first time, making an awesome spin there right around those Nashville blockers in the front there. Number 666, Little Devil, and number 10, Queen Bee. A very good duo there, but Awesome Sauce putting 4 points on the board. Roadrunner, star in hand. And there was a very sneaky star pass there. Our new jammer will be Shipwreck. Awesome Sauce. Getting around. And going to run it on the new pivot jammer. Some great tripod work there in the front as Awesome Sauce is losing some sauce there, some juice, because that Nashville wall in the front pack is keeping the intensity, forcing a call off there right before the end of the jam time. That will be 16 points to Santa Cruz. All right, F-Bomb and Lunatic with the stars. F-Bomb for Santa Cruz, getting lead jammer. Lunatic in the back pack. while F-Bomb puts on 4 more points for Santa Cruz. And cruising around the corner there, 4 more points. Nashville is reforming their wall with a fancy little tiptoe around the corner. There should also be a tiptoe counter on that corner as well. Lunatic still pushing through some amazing defense there. And the drag back, making Lunatic take the star off and play some defense, but a very good spin there by F-Bomb. And a great 4-wall in the front there. Oh, and the 1 hand would have been in, but the 2 hands is out of bounds. One of my favorite moves is the 1 hand on the ground and then stand back up, because you are not out of bounds with 1 hand. But it takes a lot of core strength. But it looks really cool. And a familiar matchup, we have Wrecking Bell and Felony with the stars. Nashville sending 1 back for offense there. Oh, but a blocker is to the box. Felony still pushing through that 3 wall in the back there, with Santa Cruz has 1 up there for offense. But it looks like a Nashville blocker was sent to the box, so that is 1 less person to skate around. All right, and this could very potentially be the last jam of the game. On the line, wearing the star, we have Vita Vendetta for Santa Cruz, gaining lead jammer up against Lunatic for Nashville. With a drag back there and a call off. This will not be the last jam. I spoke too soon. And the penalty box is empty for another potential last jam, but with the amount of times it has been points and call off, you never really know. Alice in Thunderland with lead jam. Status for this jam, putting 4 on the board. Thorn jamming for, I believe, the first time for Nashville, with the star fighting in the back of the pack. And there was a call off there, putting 8 points on the board for Santa Cruz Derby Groms. And with the star for Santa Cruz, that is going to be 9-7-5 Ragin up against Felony. And Nashville is holding Ragin in the front pack. And a great drawback there Felony trying to play some defense, and some jammer on jammer defense did happen. Lead is still available. And a hit to the outside. Oh, that means Ragin will take lead jammer for the last jam of the game. Ragin putting 4 points on the board. Nashville with a 3-wall in the front there. Doing a great job of keeping pack and keeping position of the opposing jammer. But with that call off, that means that this will be the unofficial score. Putting 8 more points on the board for Santa Cruz. What a game. Amazing gameplay, really, on both sides. But congratulations to Santa Cruz Derby Groms. They will be advancing to the next game. So stay tuned for all of that and Junior Roller Derby Championships. All right, and if you take a look at the points per jam, the Santa Cruz Derby Groms maintained lead status for almost, I won't count them all, but a very decent amount of the jams, and kept Nashville Junior Roller Derby from captivating on that. So very, very well done job defensive and offensively. And once again, thank you for tuning in. My name's Hippie. You may or may not recognize my voice, but I promise you I'm not that old. And so stay tuned, because up next we have Tampa Roller Derby up against Rose City for the female division.